from Tyco of
Well, welcome back to another episode of Psycho for Bachman. And the reason I'm saying Bachman is because I'm working on my modern TNT stuff. Basically, I'm trying to fix some of the handrails. They keep popping out. I do not like plastic handrails whatsoever. Plastic handrails, bad. But I'm working on the modern TNT stuff again. And one of the things a modern railroad has or needs is ditch lights. Unfortunately, Bachman, Tyco, older Atherns, things like that, they don't come with ditch lights. And you either have to buy a ditch light pack and try and squeeze in bulbs or LEDs or something of that fashion into these units, which with these are almost impossible. I mean, these are all weight and motor. So I really couldn't put micro LEDs and resistors in here. Trust me, I've tried. But I found another article and I decided to test it, and it was talking about using fiber optics for lights. It's a great idea, and it actually works. But trying to find the right ditch lights was a problem. Now, this is a nice thing about proto freelancing. With proto freelancing, you basically can do it the way you want to do it. So I opted for a Union Pacific style of ditch lights, and I found these on eBay. These are Circus City decals, flush mounting ditch lights. The only problem is when I put these together, I used too thin of fiber optic. I'm still new to fiber optics and things like that, especially when you're buying them online, because you never exactly know what measurements they are. And the measurements with that was like 0.010. So when I tried them, they worked, but they're dim as heck. So when I went to Roseville here a few weeks ago, I got some Plastruct fiber optic in the 0.040, and I think this will be the right size to make my ditch lights. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the 380 apart. I've got the 400, which is my SD40-2, over on the side. I had to redo one of the numbers, and I got to redo all the railings and all that, so I figure I'll take these off, I'll reinstall some new fiber optics, we'll get that going. Also, one of the bad things about me going to a hobby shop is I always seem to buy more stuff. And these were at a great price. These are the Walthers, this is a Walthers mainline. It's an SD70 Ace. I think it was an SD70 Ace. Well, it's an SD70, I know that much. Yeah, it's an SD70 Ace. And these are going to be the new locomotives for the TNT. So 700 and 701. These will be pulling the nuclear waste train. The 40s might be relegated to the northern route from Hazen going to the lithium mines outside of Goldfield and Tonopah. And the 38s might just be downgraded to maintenance away service, which I'm going to be making a bunch of maintenance away cars because I've got more Tyco plug doors than anything else. So probably a future episode will be how to build a more modern maintenance away train for your Pike. There's a few other things I wanted to throw out there. So I'm doing these right now. I'm still waiting on some more parts for my Western Pacific locomotives, which I should be doing here in an upcoming video. And then a quick notation on that. I had to break down. I found out for the Western Pacific Fs, the two Fs that I'm doing, the Tyco Fs are just not going to work. But I was able to find some Bachmann F shells, so it's going to be kind of a Tyco Bachmann hybrid kind of thing, and you'll see that in hopefully a future episode, maybe the next iteration, because I do have almost all the parts for my GP20, so we're probably going to be doing that. Now, one thing, getting back to this, when you're doing fiber optics in a package, you have to open the package in a certain way. Don't take it out, or else it's going to look like, if I can get all of it, it's going to wind up literally like fishing line on a bad reel. And I kept that specifically for this. So we're not going to use the fickle finger of fate here. We're just going to take the package. We're going to make a little slit here. And then we're just going to feed the fiber optic out this way so we can kind of keep the integrity and hopefully not act all stupid. So let's go ahead, let's get the 380 apart. Now when I do the 381 and the 401, which will also have ditch lights eventually, the ditch lights do come solid. So I glue those on in a strategic location, and then I go ahead and I drill my holes that way. Now the Bachmanns are a little more complicated. Actually, you want to see complicated, you want to see how I have to take apart the Walters mainline in order to paint that. First thing you got to do is you got to take off the fuel tanks, and then you got the two screws here, and you also got to remove the couplers, because once you try to pull it out, the couplers are just going to go bleh. Now, as you can see, let me see if I can zoom y'all in on this. The fiber optics pretty much run here, and then they run here, and they run much right under the frame. So I'm going to have to take the frame apart, obviously, and then I'm going to have to take the cab off. Take the frame apart, take the cab off. Like I said, two screws. And just a quick note about these Bachmann sound value. That's what this is. It's a Bachmann sound value locomotive. They're pretty good for the price. I mean, I'm still playing around with the decoders, trying to make the decoders work the way I want them to, as far as sound and bells and stuff like that. I've already irritated one guy at the club because the 38s have rapid bells, which is, it's just something I prefer. He's like, I can't stand rapid bells. Well, are you modeling the modern Tonopah Tidewater? No. Alright. The couplers are off, screws are out. Should just come out nice and easy. I should know, I've done it a million times. There we go. And here goes the screw. Alright, you can kind of see, oh geez. where the fiber optics went. They just went up a little hole that I kind of glued in, so I'm going to have to obviously make some more holes. And while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and I'll fix the handrails on this one here. There's one. Sometimes fiber optics are nice because it's just like you pluck them out like a hair. That was smart. And I didn't glue these in, I think. Or did I? I did. Oh. New drill bits. Okay, and we'll be right back while I drill and fill these holes and fix this all up.
2 weeks later.
Now, as you can see here, like I said, with the Bachmann frame, there is like no room for room unless you do a lot of cutting and grinding, which I actually had to do with the 400. So I've got the right drill bit, and I'm just going to drill a new hole in here. Like so. And watch that one crack apart. Wow. Okay, well, never say never. Guess we'll show you how I install these. Now these are 3D printed. So it's just literally a snap and a little bit of trim. And not even that. There. Ah, success. At first you don't succeed, keep on sucking until you do. When I say there's no room in one of these Bachmanns, I mean there is no room. All right, and we got that mounted in. So now we just got to kind of get the fiber optics where I want it to go. This one bent pretty easily. This one's a little bit harder. We got to feed it in under here. So I'm just going to measure my eye like I always do. And then I'm going to trim the ends with something trimmable. Because these are a lot thicker than the ones I had before. There. There. All right, now comes the feeding process. Finally, got it in. All right, quick mushroom of that. And now comes the fun task of getting the shell back on and getting the fiber optics around the shell itself. And just to shield the top up, we're going to put a little masking tape over here. Just a wee bit of electrical tape. And then before I finish up any of the assembly, we'll go ahead and we'll give this a test. There we go. All right. throw it on a test track and see what we get. All right, let's see if she works. And headlight. And there we have it. There we have it, friends. We have ditch lights. And we have pretty decently lit ditch lights too. So there you go, folks. You want to put ditch lights in your locomotive regardless of model and prototype, fiber optics might be the way for you. Okay, we got to make this Tyco related because I'm not psycho for Bachmann. So as far as a Tyco application goes, you got your SD24s, you got your C430s, anything like that. You can mount ditch lights in those too to upgrade your short line or your pike or even your museum road to modern standards. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back all together and do a snapshot for the cover photo, and until then, I am psycho for I'm psycho for Tyco, but also psycho for Bachmann. Hey friends, I know you're at the end of the video and all that, but I just wanted to give a quick shout out that if you're in Carson City or any of the surrounding neighborhoods, come on down to Mills Park where the Carson City Railroad Association, my model railroad club, happens to be at. We've got both HO scale and N scale. We run modular displays. We also have, during the summer months, a 2-foot tourist railroad that kind of goes around half the park. Membership fee is about $35. If you want to run some trains, come on down. Just let us know. Link in the description, and the link is right here at the bottom. And have a good one. I'm Psycho for Tyco. We'll see you next time. Shaving my shoulders, shaving them all the way off. Shaving my shoulders, shaving them all the way off. Shaving my shoulders, shaving them all the way off.